Hello YouTube, Dave here again. Today I want to talk about one of my other obsessions. I don't talk about it a lot on the channel, but it has come up in a few different occasions, but that's my love of video games. So in particular, I've been looking to sort of build up my N64, just to have a physical collection to represent some of the games that I really either used to love or have with my original N64, or just to sort of have to fill in certain gaps in my collections. And trying to find, complete in-box N64 games, especially the ones that I've got here today, for the North American versions, are ridiculously expensive. So, I decided to embrace the world of Japanese imports. For those that are unaware, the N64's region locking was a physical measure and not something that was done in the software. So we'll take a look at sort of how that works, but you can modify cartridges to work with the Japanese one in the North American N64, or there's even a mod you can do to the console so that it can just play any region's games, because the only thing, like I said, that is keeping you from playing those games on your system is the actual physical design of the cartridge itself. So I don't have a ton. I only have 3 ones here to show off, but they're 3 that I would consider to be pretty decent additions to my collection. So again, I want to have these physical versions of it. And so the first one we've got here is Super Mario 64. I just recently received this one, actually. And again, to get a complete in-box Super Mario 64, the North American version, can be hundreds of dollars. Ever since the stupid grading service thing where, a sealed one went for like $2 million at an auction, that definitely doesn't reek of money laundering in any way, shape, or form. Even the unsealed versions still go for $200-$300, some of them. So, but this was like $50, I think, which is a very reasonable price for a 30-year-old game that sold millions of copies. Right? This is not a rare, obscure title that nobody knows about. This was one of the highest-selling N64 games of all time. One of the original launch titles. So it's not something that the rarity makes it expensive. It's just the fact that people are trying to capitalize on the graded craze there. But again, one of the things I actually like about the Japanese versions too is the box art is really, really cool. So the North America one, you had the Mario flying. You can sort of see a little bit of the castle in the background type of thing. But here you actually see the white box looks really cool. But you see the penguins there on the ice level. You see the castle with the Goomba and the Boo. It's a really cool looking box design, I find. And then on the back, you have Bowser hitting Mario with his fire. And yeah, so again, really, really cool looking. And then if we open it up and take a look at what's inside, what we have is I guess a card about how to plug in your system. And they used to do a lot of the little comic stuff for their mornings. And something else that a lot of the Japanese games have is this little card that shows how to hold the N64 controller to play this game. Right, so you use the thumbstick and you use the A, B, and the C buttons. But it also gives you the moves, so you can move the camera, what the B button does, what the trigger does, what the thumbstick movement, because they're all color coded. Right, so that's really cool. And then on the back, you just have all of his moves. So really cool stuff to see there. And then we've got the instruction booklet, which again, it is in Japanese, but this will be kind of cool to flip through and kind of see what we got there, telling you not to make sure the thumbstick is in the neutral position when you turn on the console. You have the story. Again, I miss video game manuals, man. I so much. I miss these. It even tells you that you can mess around with Mario on the start screen. So some more moves, things of that nature. Camera controls, the different things you can find in the game. So really, really cool. And then we got the cartridge itself. Still in the baggie, which is really nice. So here's what region locks the North American versus the Japanese N64. I don't have a North American N64 game handy, but these notches on the back of the cartridge are different shapes, different sizes, and slightly different locations on the North American version versus the Japanese version. So the Japanese version is designed to fit. The inside of the console has these tabs up there to fit into these, these divots or whatever you want to call them. And the North American one would have one formatted for the North American ones, which I think are more narrow, but they might be a little bit taller. So there's sort of like, that's the difference. But if you were to break off the tabs inside of the console, or you can even replace the tray that the cartridge goes into. I know some people like 3D print trays that just don't have any of those tabs. So you can just put the cartridge right on the pin connector and you'd be able to run anything. So that's basically that there. And they have a plastic tray, which even has N64 on it. So that's really, really cool. And we'll put this guy, let's just tuck him in the middle there so it doesn't get creased. We'll put him put it back in. Alright, so that's Super Mario 64. Up next is a game I never actually owned, but I bought this for a specific reason. And this is Donkey Kong 64, but it's not just any version of Donkey Kong 64. This is the big box version, which comes with an expansion pack. Now, the expansion pack is not region locked in any way, shape, or form. So a Japanese expansion pack will plug into a North American N64 and work perfectly fine. But trying to buy an expansion pack on its own, they'll go for 50, 60. I saw one that was in packaging, the Japanese packaging, was over $100, and this was a $60 purchase for everything, right? So the box is a little faded on the front, and on the top there, a little sun faded, but that's okay because it is just the outer box. And inside, we have a complete in-box N64 expansion pack. So one of these alone, and it was a Japanese version, one of these alone I saw listed on eBay for $100. But you could also get it in this Donkey Kong 64, and I saved like $40 by also getting a complete in-box video game on top of that. So let's just go ahead and actually, I think this is supposed to be something like that. I'm not going to open up the expansion pack. I did check, it was in there. But then we got the Donkey Kong 64 box, and again, I love the Japanese artwork on it here. And we'll go through. So this is a yellow or gray cartridge, but it's kind of shiny, sparkly looking. Again, they also called them cassettes on the back there. Now this one I think is missing the card that shows like how to hold the controller, but again, I paid $60. It does come with the manual, comes with the game, comes with the box for the game and the manual, and also wait, is there? Okay, no, I thought there might have been something else in there, but no. And it comes with just the expansion pack complete in its packaging as well. So again, imports are definitely the way to go, especially for things that you can play pretty well without English, like Mario and Donkey Kong. To a certain extent, the next game I'm going to show, which is actually what started my import journey. There's not too many more that I plan on getting. For like the imports. I'm not going to go nuts or anything. But there are a few more that I might be interested in, like Mario Kart, which I used to have for my original N64. I wouldn't mind seeing if I could find like one of the Castle, because I had Castlevania 64, just the cartridge, but it'd be kind of nice to have like a complete in-box one. But this is the next game, the final game in this video, is the reason I got into the imports in the first place. And it looks like I should actually need, because I never even took this out of the plastic that it was in. I'm not going to bother. We've seen what the insides look like, but I just want to kind of show this off. But this is Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. A loose cartridge for this game can be over $100 Canadian. I was at a store in Toronto that had a complete in-box version of the Majora's Mask game, North American version, and it was $350. And this was, I think, again, this was like a $50, $60 game, which is a lot more reasonable. They actually packaged it pretty well, so they taped it up here. It's actually, I thought it was in like a hard plastic protector, but it is just like a plastic bag. But they did tape it really nice and tight, so I don't think I want to mess with that. But again, like, this is a complete unbox. The listing showed that has the game, the card showing how to hold the controller, it had the manual, and it had the copy of the game. And I just want a physical Majora's Mask that I can have in my collection, because I do want to have a physical copy of each Legend of Zelda game, and there's not that many that I'm missing. Mainly it's the Game Boy ones, and Zelda 2 I don't have a physical version of, and that's more or less it, right? Because I have the Game Boy Advance re-release of the original Legend of Zelda, as well as Link to the Past. I have the original N64 Ocarina of Time. I've got all the ones that have come after that. The 3DS ones, except for Triforce Heroes. I am missing Spirit Tracks. So there's a few. But again, I'll probably go with the Japanese imports. But again, just look how cool this cover art is. So the North American one just had like the Legend of Zelda with the Majora's Mask there. And it had sort of like a black background. Maybe a purplish black background. It did look cool. But man, like with Link there, getting ready to draw a sword and the artwork in the background. Right, it's just a really cool looking box there. And this red thing here is just telling you that it requires the expansion pack in order to play. You can get a version that doesn't have this, and there is a big box version that does also come with the expansion pack. But the Donkey Kong one was way cheaper to get than the Zelda one. So that's why I went with that. So anyway, like I said, not a huge import, collection or anything like that, but, 3 pretty solid games that I just want to have a physical version of in my collection. The only one I don't have a means of playing right now is Donkey Kong 64, but I'm sure that's going to come to the Switch Online at some point. Super Mario 64, I have it on my Wii, I have it on the Switch Online, I have the Super Mario 3D All-Stars, so I have multiple ways to play this one. I've got multiple ways to play this one, and this one should be coming, I think, at some point soon. But yeah, anyway, just my little Japanese import collection. It's only 3 games, strong. I probably won't get more than that, like 5 or 6 games will probably be where I max out on that one. But it is pretty cool. It's a much cheaper way to get like these complete in-box games. And again, when you realize that the region locking is only physical, and like you have like the modern clone consoles that can download like English translations for things as well. So I mean, there are ways to use these and be able to understand them and read them in English, stuff like that, if you really want to. I'm not that interested. I just want to kind of have them on my shelf to be able to look at. But anyway, let me know in the comments below. Do you have any import games in your collection? If so, let me know which ones you have. Which other N64 games would you recommend on the import side of things? I'm not looking to get too obscure. I didn't have a huge N64 collection. I'm just looking to rebuild kind of what I had. I have WrestleMania 2000 back in my collection. I had Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey, which I'd love to get back. And I had Super Mario 64, Mario Kart, and the 2 Zelda games. So I didn't have a huge N64 collection, but it would be nice to get those games back, because with my original N64, I was seeing somebody at the time that I lent it to her for her kids to use. When we broke up, I didn't want to take the system away right away. I kind of wish that I had, though, because a few months later, when I was like, okay, I'd like to take my system back now, it had gotten stolen. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm glad to have these back, though, in my collection. And again, I do have the expansion pack. I'm looking to actually... Oh, Star Fox 64 is the other one that I want to get, because like the big box version will come with the Rumble pack as well. So that's another one that I'm kind of looking into. But anyway, thank you also very much for your time. I appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.